Alright guys, so today I'm having on Helen with Helen's Healing Hand Massages. What's really cool about Helen is that her massage therapy setup is all mobile. So she can come to you, come to your house, you don't have to go to her, which is super awesome. Very nice to have, especially if you're somebody that doesn't either have the time to leave the house or can't, or maybe you just don't want to. Another cool thing about Helen is that she's not originally from Ocala. She did move here from Orlando. So I'm excited for you guys to hear her story about her thoughts on Ocala, what it's like living here, and also what it's been like being a business owner here in the Marion County area. Let's go check it out.
All right, Helen, so tell us a little bit about your business and like kind of how you got into it, like your origin story.
Okay, well, my business is Helen's Healing Hands Massage. I am a licensed massage therapist. I provide mobile massages wherever you are, your home, place of business, your hotel, if you're on vacation, wherever, sometimes outdoors. and I bring my services to you. How I got started, when I was in my early 20s, I wasn't really sure where I wanted to go with my career, what I wanted to study, what I was doing with my life. So I kind of started thinking about it, and out of nowhere, the word massage started coming into my life from different people, and it caught my attention. So I decided to go to the school, find the information that I needed to see what it took to be a therapist, and I loved it and got started in it right away.
Okay, that's awesome. So how long have you been doing it now?
Right now, it's been about 7 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Okay.
As soon as I graduated, I started right into my mobile massage career, and I haven't stopped since.
That's super awesome. Now has it always been here in Ocala?
No, actually, I just got here about a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still fairly new here. I was in Orlando for that whole time, Orlando and that whole surrounding area. And I've got most of my clientele is still over there. I still travel there fairly often.
I'm sure.
But now I'm here trying to build my clientele out here, and so far I love it out here. It's great.
That's really cool. I'm originally from Volusia County, so I grew up going to Orlando a lot. Like, I mean, it's not very far, so if you're gonna drive somewhere to go to the bigger city, you kind of have to go there, or
Yeah.
like Mary or somewhere, because there's just nothing. I mean, there is more stuff there now than when I was a kid, but Volusia County still is kind of that suburby part of more, in some ways I feel like more so than Ocala in a weird way.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's because it's not so centrally located, where like Ocala you can drive to like Gainesville or
Mhm.
Tampa.
Everything feels like it's 90 minutes away from Ocala.
Exactly. So I think maybe that's why it's kind of interesting. So are you originally from Orlando, or?
I was born in Puerto Rico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but my family moved to Kissimmee when I was about 2 years old.
Okay.
And I was raised over there. And when I was 21, 21, I moved to Orlando.
Okay.
And then a year ago, I moved over here to Ocala.
Okay, yeah, that's awesome. What brought you here? Just like the cost of living?
Kind of. My boyfriend and I, we've been together for a long time,
Okay.
and his father owned a house in Marion,
Okay.
and him and his twin brother got the house passed down to them,
Oh.
and it's rent free right now. It's all paid off. So he's like, let's go live over there for a little bit, save up, and it's nice living rent free. And not only that, we used to come over here all the time, and we like the area, and we're like, let's get away from Orlando for a little bit. Rent is skyrocketing over there, so we decided to come over here and live with the family for a little bit, and it's nice.
Hey, I know. I mean, sometimes, I think there's something special about like when you're chasing your entrepreneurial dream, that sometimes you make those sacrifices like on your life. Like maybe you don't drive the fanciest car, you don't live in the fanciest house, and you kind of like take all that time and money and energy and like shove it into your business, and like it kind of gives you that ability to do what makes you happy.
Yes.
And also be able to afford it, because that,
Yes, and that's one of the things I really like about being a massage therapist. It's versatile. You can take it with you anywhere. It's not you're not tied down to one place. I mean, unless you have a spa, of course. But if that's what you want to do, go for it. But I really like the mobile aspect of it, because I love to travel. I can go anywhere. I can bring my services wherever I go.
And that's super cool. Now, do you find that you typically get like older people, younger people? Like, who would you say your clientele is?
Oh man, but it's pretty versatile. I
Okay.
have old, young. I've even massaged some kids sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I massage my pets. But over here in Ocala, I do feel like that there's a much older community out here. So yeah, definitely you get older clients out here more often. But that's not to say that I don't get the younger clientele. In Orlando, it's much more varied. I get I've massaged teenagers that are athletes at school, and they might be sore or they got growing pains. I've massaged them. I've massaged young 20-year-olds up to an 80-year-old woman. Just palliative care, it's what it's called, where you just give them nice gentle touch, and the age range varies.
No, I'm sure in Orlando, I mean, it's so diverse age-wise. But no, I think you being traveling is really like convenient for people that are older, because they may not be able to drive, or if they're sore, if maybe they've fallen and they're like trying to recuperate and stuff like that is very helpful for them. So I think, being mobile gives you kind of like a competitive edge a little bit.
Oh, yes. And one of my clients' favorite things is that they don't have to go anywhere after massage. After a massage, you're like, you're kind of, I call it massage brain. Your brain might not be functioning right. You're kind of in a relaxed zone. You're zenned out. And so you don't want to get up and go drive in traffic, stressful traffic, to go back home. And so being able to not have to go anywhere and just lay in bed or take a shower and relax and do nothing for however long you want to do after the massage is a great convenience. And it also helps you benefit more from the massage too.
No, I definitely agree with you. So now I want to ask, like, since we're kind of like talking about you and your work and like what you do, has there been anything that's like been super surprising about being a massage therapist? Like maybe something people have done, said, funny things that have happened?
I guess for surprising for me would be how I don't just become their massage therapist. I'm more like a general therapist, or a helper, I should say, because they'll ask me for massages, of course, but after I've been with a client for a long amount of time, they start to let everything out. They'll vent to me, they'll tell me about their lives, I'll get to know them on a more personal level. And I have some clients that I don't just do massage for, I help them with everyday tasks. I pet sit, I'll help clean their house, I'll drop something off at wherever they need it dropped off. It's become kind of like a jack of all trades kind of thing for me. And I was not expecting that. I was not expecting that at all, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. I do feel sometimes I feel like a family, depending on the client and how long I've seen them. They make me feel like family sometimes, which is nice.
I will say, like, being a realtor, I kind of agree with you on that. I think massage, it's very personal, of course, because like you're very close to them, you're touching them. So people don't like to be touched. So like, it's pretty personal if somebody's letting you do that. And also, I sell people's their houses, so like you can't get much personal than the home you live in.
You see where they're living.
Yeah, exactly. And so I have been told some of the most wildest stories being a realtor, and I didn't even ask. Like, it wasn't something I chose to be told. I didn't inquire. They just wanted to tell me, and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, or sometimes I'm like, how am I supposed to respond to this? Yes. But I don't really, no judgment, I don't care, but it's just sometimes it really takes you off guard.
Yes, it does. One of the wildest things that I had to do was I had to take one of my clients' cats to get euthanized.
Oh my God.
Yes. I never did anything like that. It was sad. Sorry, it was sad. Okay. And it was completely out of the blue, but the poor cat was sick. It was suffering. It had to be done. And
nobody else could do it.
Yes. This was actually my very first client ever.
Oh, wow.
From when I started my career. I'm still with them. And yeah, we're like family, and they weren't able to do it. So they asked me to do it. And it was surprising.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, it almost sounds like you've kind of become like a home health aid too, like a combo almost.
A little bit. Yeah, I definitely don't go as in depth as they actually do, but yeah, I do feel like I do a lot of different little chores here and there for them, which is fine though. I feel I just really enjoy helping people. I guess it's just part of my nature.
No, I kind of get that. I relate to that. Recently I haven't made a post about this yet. I guess maybe I need to digest it. Lord help me. I had a closing a couple weeks back, like very recently, and I was doing the final walkthrough, doing whatever, and the seller had left some trash in a trash can. So I was like, okay, well, they didn't have a lid. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to take this trash can, dump it into the ones outside that I know that have lids, and then, they can just put that out at the road and they'll take care of it. Well, so I go outside to go get it, and I'm like, oh, this is great. Okay, easy. I grabbed the first one. It kind of has some water in it or whatever. I was like, okay, well, let's try the other one that has the lid, like, on it. Okay. And I open it, and it's full of water. But to my surprise, it also had 3 dead squirrels in it.
God, they drowned!
No, I think he killed them. Either with rat poison, shot them, whatever. I don't really know. And he put them in a bucket. threw them in the trash can, and we had a bunch of rain because it was around the hurricane's high.
Oh my.
So they were like fermenting in there, like most literally, like it was so gross.
And it probably stunk so
It did.
bad.
I took a
Standing
something that I
water
had.
and dead squirrels.
It was terrible. I had like something in my car, and I like put like some essential oils on it and like wrapped it around my head while I like scooped them out. I took a video of it. Maybe I'll put it like in this or something. But it was crazy.
That sounds bad.
But I love my customers, and I didn't want them to have to deal with that. The only thing that they had to deal with was that water because they had, the seller had turned the power off, so I couldn't like rinse it down. And so I was like, look, you don't want me to pour this out and let it dry because you'll be smelling rotten squirrel for months. So just let it be there, and you can dump it. I'm sorry that I'm leaving this to you to do because I don't want to, but like you need to hose down like afterwards to like kind of make it less concentrated.
The dead squirrel water. You don't want that to be.
God, it was terrible. I like quadruple bagged it because I was like in my wife's car, and I'm like, she's gonna kill me. She'll be smelling dead squirrel for the next like 5 weeks. Like this isn't gonna work. So, but anyway, going back to like the things like you took somebody's cat to go get euthanized, and I dealt with dead squirrels. So hey, I can relate.
Yep, there's so much trauma in that.
It was wild. I never thought, I'm like, this is not part of my job description, but here I am. I know, neither was yours. Here we are. So, but no, it was super crazy. So now I know you said you're originally from Orlando. No, we're going to kind of like change gears a little bit. Okay. So you said you moved there and you lived like in that Kissimmee area for a while, and then you were in Orlando. And now that you moved to Ocala, how's it been so far being a business owner here specifically? We kind of touched on it, but I didn't ask the question directly.
It's been a little slow for me, but mostly because I've been mainly focused on my Orlando clients and and just getting comfortable out here. And getting the layout of the land and seeing just where I like to be, where I would like to go, what just things that I would personally like to do, not so much career focused.
Gotcha.
But now that I feel comfortable now, I know my way around the area, and I feel like I can really focus now on building my clientele out here. And so far it's been slow moving, but Ocala is slow moving, which I actually like. Compare and contrast to Orlando, I very much enjoy that. So yeah, it's been a little bit slow for me, but that's why I'm here. And that's part of why I'm here. It's part of my promotion to build my clientele out here.
So how long have you guys been living here in Ocala?
A year.
Okay, so it's only been a year.
Yeah, it's only been a year.
Yeah, so it'll probably, like, now that I'm sure you're getting to know more people and networking and things like that, it'll probably start picking up some for sure. And hopefully this helps you as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so. Because, it sounds like you've been, doing massage therapy for quite some time now. Since, like, you talk about how much you love Ocala versus Orlando, I kind of leads me into, like, me like asking like if somebody was moving to Ocala, because there's a lot of people moving from Orlando, moving from Tampa, moving from Miami to here, and I think sometimes they don't necessarily have like the best perspective of Ocala. I'm sorry, they don't have the best perspective of Ocala. So what has like been your experience like making that transition from like a big city to kind of slow Cal? It's not as slow Cal as it used to be.
That's what I hear. I wouldn't know. I mean, I visited here, but I had never lived here before, so I wouldn't know just how slow it was. But like I said, that's one of the things that I do like. I like that everything in Orlando feels so fast paced, and people feel like they're on top of each other. There's so many people. Everyone's in a rush. There's not a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Like pleasantries?
Yeah, like just simple pleasantries. Everything is concrete, and people are not pleasant. A lot of people are just focused on me, and what it is that they have to do today and where they have to go. And even as I speak about it, I'm speaking really quickly. But when you come to Ocala, it's a huge shift. There's so much. The first thing you notice is the vegetation out here. It's so lush and green, and so many farms, and it helps keep you grounded and helps remind you that it's not just about everything that you have to get done on a daily basis. Sometimes it's nice to just slow down and take a moment to enjoy where you're at and what's around you. And I don't know if it's the people, Ocala itself, or that there's more of an elderly population out here, but people are so nice. They've been so nice to me. People smile at me when I smile at them, which doesn't happen a lot in Orlando. They'll stop and have a conversation with me, and customer service is kind of dead out in Orlando, but over here it's still pretty nice. I enjoy, just like you said, the small pleasantries of being out here. I wake up to birds chirping, not construction across the street.
I know. I think there's some people that have moved here, like during the pandemic, they moved here because the houses were cheaper and it was easier to get something. And I don't know, some people are like really irritated with how more slow paced it was, like it is here versus like Orlando or Miami or whatever.
I guess it depends on what you like and also what you're coming from. Because
Yeah.
I've lived in fast paced my whole life, but coming and visiting my boyfriend's family
Yeah.
over here, we would come often. I loved being out here, and we love to go to the springs, and they're not far from here. It's just nice to be out in nature, and that's what I feel like I can do both out here. I can live and be out in nature. Well, as far as being in Orlando, I have to go somewhere or drive somewhere to be able to find that peaceful environment.
No, I agree. I think Orlando, I think if you're not from Florida, maybe you don't realize it, but like as somebody, like I said, I grew up going to Orlando from a very young child and to now. And my parents are like, I'm generationally like from Florida, so I'm a Florida girl through and through. And so my mom went to UCF in Orlando back when it was you can't finish. So like Orlando was just kind of like this quaint town, kind of like it was a city for sure, but more on the smaller side. I mean, the college was so not put together that you couldn't get all your classes to graduate because not enough people were enlisted in those classes, which is crazy now to think about. Because like UCF, I think is like the largest or most students in the country. I think it is.
Exploded.
I know.
It exploded, and I grew up in Kissimmee.
Yeah, same thing.
And St. Cloud too. St. Cloud felt like Ocala for a while.
It did. I remember because my mom's friend I think lived there,
and now it's oh my gosh, it's just like Orlando and Kissimmee. It's overpopulated. Everything is really close to each other. There's so much more traffic. You can't get over the traffic.
I know people complain about traffic here, and I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm not saying it's perfect because it's definitely not, but like in comparison to Orlando or Miami or any of that, like nothing in comparison.
I drive a lot to Orlando, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week.
Oh, wow,
and the drive there is pleasant until about 30 minutes to 45 minutes that I get from Orlando. I'm like, oh no, here we go. Depending on the time of day, traffic starts. There's construction every couple miles, and the speed at which everyone is driving and the hecticness of which they drive changes too. It increases, and I don't know. It's just I like the peacefulness of being out here.
Yeah, no, I think it's special, and I really feel like Ocala is always going to be like a large suburb. People don't realize that Ocala is the second largest county in the state of Florida. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is. So it's massive. It's only
like population or
land mass.
Oh, okay.
Like by the size of it.
Okay.
Like the actual like shape of
That's huge.
It's a huge county. And I mean, Duval is the only county that is bigger. That's the biggest county. And I went to school at UNF. So I lived in Jacksonville for 2 years, almost 3 years. So I drove it. So I know like getting one from one end of Duval County to the other takes forever. Like almost 3 hours. I don't know if you've been to Jacksonville.
It's a day trip. I have been to Jacksonville, but I haven't driven all.
Oh yeah, I've driven. I was there a lot, so I drove a lot. But it's kind of similar to Ocala, where you have to drive 30 minutes to an hour to get somewhere. Like anything, like to Whole Foods or to Trader Joe's, which they have a lot of those there. I'm very envious of Jacksonville on that. I miss that. They have like 4 or 5 of them. Like, it's crazy. And there's like 4 or 5 Targets, too.
Have I ever even been to a Trader Joe's? I don't think I ever have.
Oh, wow. There's only like 1, I think. 1 or 2 in Orlando. There's not even very many there.
No.
I'm like, in Jacksonville, I swear.
They were too far for me to go to.
Yeah. There's one in Gainesville if you ever want to go.
I pass through Gainesville every now and again.
Yeah. Well, it's not that far, but it was crazy in Jacksonville. And also all the Targets. Like, there was, I think, like 4 Targets in like a 15-30 minute radius. Here, there's like 1.
Yeah.
Everywhere else, there's 1. I don't know why Jacksonville got all of that, but they did. I'm envious of that.
Maybe they're more densely populated in those areas.
I think they really felt the 2006 boom. So I think that is all from that personally. I'm hoping Ocala will get. I think we're gonna keep growing, and so I know we're gonna probably be something similar to Jacksonville. We kind of have to be just because of like the size. We kind of compare it. And they have like plans for Ocala to do a lot of like not factories, all distribution centers.
Distribution centers?
So like we have distribution in Marion Oaks over there. That's like, you know, that whole like area that's been cleared and there's like a bunch of big buildings.
Yeah.
That's the Dollar Tree distribution, Family Dollar.
Okay.
And Chewy's there, and then they just built another one where they just built the Wawa. There's like the Wawa sitting here right there by the interstate, and there's a road that goes back. That's another like call center or office space, kind of the same kind of thing. And that's partially why they're wanting to put more distribution there in some places, and so that's why they're putting in that direct connect at the very bottom of Marion Oaks. So it's coming in.
Okay.
Which will be phenomenal when that happens. You don't have to deal with 484. It'll kind of alleviate that. So when you're going to Orlando, you can just shoot down. Yeah, you can shoot down to the bottom. I don't know what section of Marion Oaks you're in.
Silver Spring Shores.
Are you in Marion Oaks or Silver Spring Shores?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
I might be confused. No, I think I'm in Silver Spring Shores.
Oh, okay, so you're in the other side.
I'm right next to the Quick King on the corner of
Okay. Yep.
Mary Camp and
Yeah, you're over my neck of that's where I live.
So I am in Silver Spring.
Shores.
Okay.
I thought you said Marion Oaks.
Did I?
I thought you said his dad lived in Marion Oaks.
I may have.
It's okay. It's all good. It's okay.
See, I'm still learning.
It's all good. No, because I was like, that's why I was talking about Marion Oaks, because it is a sore spot. 484, like that traffic is rough, but I like Silver Spring Shores so much better.
Really?
Yeah, I love it. When you're talking about the birds chirping, and I'm like, this is a very interesting perspective of Marion Oaks. Like everybody, there are parts.
Maybe I should re-record that first once to make sure we don't confuse people.
No, it's okay. It's all good. But it's fine. But Silver Spring Shores to me is a lot more peace. I love living out there. If I had, I live right there. I live behind Lakewood High School. So,
you're like, what is it? A
hop, skip, and a jump.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, so I'm not too far from where you live. But anyway, that's kind of funny that we kind of. Yeah, I thought you lived in Marion Oaks.
No, I live even closer.
Oh my gosh. All right, so I did want to ask like a couple, massage like ish type questions. So I know people always there's a lot of discrepancies I feel like these days about posture, like knees, how you sit, like even like I like a lot of people I saw recently like my knees should really be like more like up here when you sit, but a lot of couches and stuff aren't like made to do that. So like, can you like maybe give some like hints or like helpful things to help with those that are maybe at an office situation or even like me where I try to like stand a lot, but I also that posture is not always so great either.
Yeah, one of the things that cause the biggest issues in a lot of my clients is their daily posture, their daily routine. And it doesn't even have to be intense workouts or hard playing sports or hard jobs. It's just sitting on a computer or being on your phone all day or driving all day that's causing all these aches and pains from bad posture or not enough movement, which is another big thing. Bad posture is usually caused by not enough movement or improper movement. So yeah, if you're sitting if you know that your job requires you to sit all day, then your body needs you to stand up. You need to be moving. Your body needs to move in order to stay in motion. What's moving stays in motion, right? And you want to keep your flexibility. So if you're sitting all day, take 5-10 minutes every hour, stand up, move, walk around, do a stretch. It does not have to be anything intense. It just has to be intentional. You want the focus to be on alleviating your cramps. If you're like this all day with your arms in front of you on the computer, take some time to stand up, bring them behind your back, bring them over your head, move in ways that your body normally does not move on your regular routine because you have all these muscles in your body. And if you're only doing the same movements every single day, you're not using them all. You're not using them all the way that you should be. And those muscles tend to get tight and sore and stressed out. And that's when you start to feel the pain. So if you're not moving enough, move more. If you are moving a lot, then you want to do some self-care. You want to do stretches and movements that help you recover, that help alleviate all the stress that you've already put on your muscles from intense movement like Amazon workers. They have to pick up lots of heavy stuff and they get a lot of backaches, a lot of knee pain. When you're working as well, you want to be focused on your posture. I know we tend to get really into what we're doing and we forget what we're doing. So like right now, if I'm like if I stop focusing, I'll get real comfortable and I'll turn into a little turtle over here. But if you focus on your posture, even if you forget, every couple of minutes, remind yourself, oh, hold on, let me sit back straight and shift myself. And this feels better. And one of the most important things that everyone should remember is the strength of your core. If you have a weak core, you're going to be like this all the time, no matter where you are. Your body is not going to hold itself up. Your core is what holds you up. So if you feel like you just can't, you being in this position is too hard for you, that means you have a weak core. Work your core. You can open up here, bring your arms above your head, open up, stretch yourself out, do some light crunches. It doesn't have to be intense. You just gotta move. You have to move and be intentional with your movement.
No, I think that's true. Whenever I'm working out and doing stuff, I definitely feel like it's easier to keep my posture better. Like it's more, I'm more aware of it. It's also because I do sit a lot because I am on the computer quite often. I do try to do like those. I try to stand a lot instead of sitting because I get tired of sitting. I don't really like sitting very much, so I try to I try to stand, and then that's also not so great either. So it's kind of like, what do you do? I mean, it is what it is. It's the world we live in. So you try to like. Now that I have good internet at my house, I try to like stretch and stuff in between. Before I looked kind of like a doofus over here at Symmetry.
I look like a doofus all the time. Stretching at red lights. You'll see me in the car like, so weird. My hand sticking out the window so I can get a better stretch. But who cares?
I know.
You might never see that person again.
I get it.
Watching you, but it helps. It helps.
It does help a lot. I try to be very mindful of like those things and try to like stretch and be more because I just get tight. Like I can feel like my body like is just kind of like wanting to like crunch in and be uncomfortable. And like you're talking about like your abs being sore. Like I try to do like yoga or stretch whatever. And so sometimes like I like will always be surprised like how sore that is. But I think it's from sitting all the time.
Yeah.
Because my body's like constantly like having to hold me up.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Your core holds you up. And if it's weak, then you're likely just going to crunch into yourself. And if you're unaware of it, the more years that go by, the more... Have you ever seen those really elderly people that are just like a whole foot shorter than they used to be?
Like dentist.
Like what?
Dentist, like a dentist.
Oh,
like,
a dentist.
Dentist,
oh,
yeah.
Dentist. But yes, yeah, they're hunched over
all the
time. Like a dentist, it would be very smart for them to every morning and every evening do some movements that they normally don't do throughout the day. Bring your arms out, open your chest, look up, turn your head in every single direction, lay on the ground, lift your hips up. Everything that you normally don't do, do the opposite movement. Or everything that you normally do the opposite movement at the end of the day. And even if it's just 5-10 minutes, that'll help. If you're consistent with it, that will help alleviate the stresses that you place on your body, and you won't end up slowly falling into yourself as the years go by. But yeah, that's kind of what happens to those older people that you see, that are much shorter than they need to be, or they have a huge hunchback right here. That's usually what happened. They weren't aware of their core.
My dad does work for a dentist, so that's why I mentioned that, because I've seen it. Yeah, and he talks about it a lot too. Like we'll be walking through a grocery store, and he'll be like, "I bet you that's what they did for a living." Like that's what they do. Yeah,
that's funny. I assess people now that I'm a therapist. I assess people as they walk by me too. I'm like, oh, I wonder why their shoulder is higher than their arm. I wonder why their knee goes out this way instead of looking ahead.
I honestly this really wasn't one of my questions, but it's been really interesting. I went barefoot like a while ago, so I only wear barefoot shoes. That's all I wear.
Great, isn't it?
Yes, it's like honestly, I can't go back. Like if you're thinking about going barefoot, like you're gonna have to get rid of every pair of shoes you own. Like you will never be able to go back. Like once you wear them for about like a couple days, even you like putting on the other shoes, my knee started hurting.
Doesn't it hurt at first? Wearing the barefoot,
so
if you're not used to it.
In weird places, because you're using parts of your foot that you didn't use before.
Yeah.
Like I always was very flat-footed, and now that I don't have like a big arch, and I don't think I ever will, but I definitely have like more of an arch, if that makes sense. And like I had like
healthy arch.
A healthy arch, yeah. And I had there was a spot on my foot that was very like I had like a knot in it. It was very weird. It was and it was I don't know. The whole experience has been very odd. I was working out and I jumped off of something and my like toes popped.
In a good way or a
way? I think in a good way, okay, but I freaked out because it like hurt. Oh. But I think it was like like the bones like readjusting because like they're so like out of alignment.
More space now for them to
do their job.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it's been very interesting. I only say that because you're talking about like people like going outward or inward or whatever. And my wife, I always walked very straight. Like I'm a very like straight footed like what do they call that, like sole walker. I think that's what
Okay.
they call that whenever you like use this part, like use the sole of your foot to
Oh,
walk.
okay.
Because like you can
I didn't.
tell
I
actually,
never
like
knew.
on your shoes. So if you look at your
Yes.
shoes, you
If you
can
look
tell.
underneath, you can see where your foot really hits the
Yes.
ground hard.
Yeah, and I always got like a hole like right here, like in the middle. It's terrible. But she like used to like walk more like outward or whatever, and now that
So
she's
the
gotten these,
outside.
it has made her feet a lot more straight.
Oh yes.
It's been really cool actually.
And the cool thing about your feet are the foundation to your body.
Mhm.
So if your feet are off alignment, then the rest of your body is likely going to be off alignment
Yes.
too. And you may or may not notice it. You might get, aches and pains in some places more than others. You have no idea why. It might be coming from your feet. You might have a pain in your shoulder, and it could be because you've been, you got a new pair of shoes and it's making you walk weird and you don't realize it. And now you're all misaligned and now your shoulder hurts. Imagine that. Yeah, everything is connected.
Yes.
But if you start with your feet, build the foundation from
I've noticed
the
like a
bottom up.
huge difference across the board. It's been very
You
fun.
feel better, right?
Yeah, no, it's honestly I've noticed it so much because my wife had like I don't know, something's wrong with her knees. I can't ever say it right. But so that's why we made the switch because her knees were just killing her. She's a teacher, so she's on her feet all the time.
Okay.
And so I said, well, I really think we should try going barefoot, like in the barefoot shoes. Let's see how it goes. She never has that pain anymore.
Yay.
At all. Like she doesn't. So if you have knee pain, I am a true believer now that if you are somebody that like is possibly going to have knee surgery or having knee issues, like try going barefoot, like, and see how that goes. Because I'm telling you, I really like. There was somebody that I saw that I knew, and they're like, I just had knee surgery, hip surgery, and like their big toes like completely turned in this way.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like that 100%. Now I know, like
now you have a different issue.
but that's like why you ended up having like your knee issues. Like I truly I fully believe it. I'm like I think they've made the shoes. And they like the companies that made shoes put money in the knee surgery so they could get the money. Like,
hey, you might not be wrong.
I really believe that.
But
like,
I agree with you. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I've definitely had plenty of clients where they were thinking about getting some kind of surgery, shoulders or their knee, because they've been in pain for so long. And their doctors just kept recommending cortisol shots. And maybe a little bit of PT, but the PT wasn't, great quality. And then they saw me and they're like, I just wanted to. They might not have seen me specifically for that issue. They just wanted me to help alleviate some of the pain. But after the massage was over, they're like, oh my gosh, hold on, wait a minute. I haven't had movement like this in years. I haven't had pain relief like this in years. I'm like, okay, well, have you been getting massages? Have you been stretching? No, I've just been getting cortisol shots and I've been thinking about a surgery. Okay, well, you haven't exhausted all of your options yet. Surgery should always be the last option.
yes.
Whenever you are in some kind of pain and it can be, a lot of things can be, I don't want to say fixed because then the massage world would throw rocks at me, but
I think managed.
Yes, it can be managed.
Or prolonged.
Or you can be alleviated. Your pain and tension can be alleviated and you can manage using whatever has hurt before uh, uh, painlessly if you see the right therapist. If your therapist is there to help you and actually make you feel better when you get off of their table and they want to help alleviate your issues, then you might feel like a completely different person when you get off, and it'll change your mind. I've changed people's minds about having to get surgery.
Yeah.
And surgery is a serious thing. You're not going to be the same after surgery. Even if you feel better, your body's just not the same. Some people get stuff put inside of them and it's not naturally a part of your body, so it's going to change something. Even if you feel better, your body's going to change one way or another and it might cause a different issue. So if you can go the natural route, anytime you feel some kind of pain, go the natural route first. Exhaust all of those options first. And if none of that works, then think about surgery.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think in America we do a really crappy job at doing preventative care.
Oh,
I have a degree in dietetics, so I was supposed to be a dietitian. I'm not a dietitian, but that's what I went to school for.
But it's related.
It is related. Like
Definitely.
we do mostly preventative care. I mean, making sure you're eating well and doing all of that. Like huge preventative. Like if you're missing vitamins, if you're missing this, if you're missing that, like huge differences. Same with massage therapy. There's like so many other things, and I just think we go to the doctor and they give us pills and we move along.
Yep.
And
because there's a lot of money in it.
Yeah. No, I agree.
There's not a lot of money in investing in. I guess it's because massage isn't popular with insurance.
Yeah.
Like it's not covered by insurance. All insurance is very few are covered. But since there's not a way for I guess, Big Brother to make a lot of money off of it, then they don't, they're not promoting it in a way that they should.
Mhm.
I think massage should be a part of everyone's regular routine, part of everyone's health and wellness.
Even if you do it yourself, to yourself,
Yeah,
or your
even
spouse does it to you, back and forth.
exactly.
Like, I
Yeah.
think it's
It's free if you
yeah.
can do it that way.
Yeah.
and or just cheap, and
It is not as invasive as, like, surgery or
yeah, yeah.
even, and it doesn't
It's not as
have
risky.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I
there
was
you
gonna say it
go.
doesn't have, like, long-lasting negative effects. That's what I was
Yes,
gonna
there
say.
you go. The effects from it are almost all positive, and of course there are some things where you shouldn't get a massage. There are
Yeah.
contraindications. Don't get a massage if you have the flu,
Yeah.
or really high uncontrolled blood pressure, things like that. You don't want to get a massage for stuff like that. But for the things that you can, that it's a less risky option than a lot of the pills, surgeries, all of that. Do massage first. That's my final say on that. Go the massage route first before
No,
doing anything else.
I definitely agree with that. So at the very end of my podcast, what I do to wrap it up is I always ask, if somebody is looking to do what you do, what would you tell them?
Oh my gosh, do it.
You kind of did
Just
that.
get it together. Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of just did that. Uh, I just say just do it, because there's massage is so versatile. Not a lot of people know that the massage world isn't just massage, like, oh, I'm gonna put lotion on my hands and massage your body. No, there's hundreds of different kinds of massages that you can get into. Um, the the regular Swedish deep tissue sports massage, most people know about that, but there's massages that you can do in the water. Yeah, hydrotherapy kind of
Interesting.
massages. There's massages that are a bit more commercial, I guess. You can do knife massages, fire massages, which are kind of they take knives and they do a
Oh
lot of
wow,
this
okay.
on you on like a thick blanket. They'll
Interesting.
light blankets on fire.
Oh my gosh.
Those are pretty commercial, and a lot of them are just for show. But if you're looking for something that's more therapeutic, there's a lot that you can get into. Thai massage, which is like full body stretching, and it kind of feels like you yourself are stretching while you're stretching your client,
Interesting.
which is really nice. It's all done. There's table Thai massage, but most Thai massage is done on the floor, not really on the table, so you can do it anywhere. Ties really well into physical therapy. If you want
Mm-hmm.
to be a nutritionist, it's good. It's a good dual license experience. You can also get into um, if you want to be a dual esthetician, things like that. All of that work ties really well together. Massage is just so versatile that if you get into it, you're bound to find something that you're really into that you can really enjoy doing, and for a long time. It can be a lifelong career. You can make your own business out of it, or you can work for somebody else. There's so many ways to go about it, and it does not take a lot of money, which is what most people are concerned about. Um, and and yeah, it's just fun. You're bound to have some fun with it one way or another.
Oh yeah, well that's super awesome. I know I love your story of like just get out and do it,
Oh
because a lot of people like tend to hem haw around about like just trying to find something that they like and
mm-hmm.
seeing if it goes well, and if it doesn't, like, oh well. I kind of do the same thing, like, I've tried social media, I've tried real estate, I've tried this, I've tried that, and like, I just kind of go with it, go with the
Mm-hmm.
flow. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, okay, we're back at the drawing board, let's do it
Yeah,
again.
exactly. And massage school, you can finish in like 7 months to a year.
Okay, that's
So
not bad.
it doesn't take long at all. So if it's not something that you really just can't find anything in the industry that calls to you, then it was a year. It
Yeah.
was a year. It's not like you spent 30 years trying to do something that you didn't end up liking.
Yeah.
So it won't be like a huge waste of time or anything like that. You'll learn from it anyway, one way or another.
Well, I appreciate you coming on and sharing all of your wonderful information with
Thank you
us.
for having
Of course,
me.
it's my pleasure. All right, guys. Well, I hope you are looking forward to the next episode. I have so many great guests coming on. I'm super excited for this round of people. So check back next week for another great episode. Thanks so much again. Bye bye.
Bye.